All right, I think we can all agree that a healthy sexual relationship is good for marriage. Now, I counsel a lot of couples, and I've counseled many couples whose the use of pornography by one spouse is actually tearing the marriage apart. And I've talked to other couples who would say that watching pornography together actually enhances and strengthens their sexual relationship. So which is it? Is porn good for your marriage, or is porn bad for your marriage? That's exactly what we're going to cover today on Relation Shots. Welcome to Relation Shots. My name's Eric Wooten. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome to the place to get practical relationship advice that actually works in your relationship. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss upcoming videos. If you want a free guide to intimacy, you'll see the link below in the description area. Also, you'll see links to other resources, tools that can help you in your relationship. So let's talk pornography. Some couples would say that watching pornography together actually helps and enhances their sexual relationship. See, these couples have found that the sexual relationship has gotten a little common, a little repetitive. And so what they say is watching porn together actually helps us get in the mood with each other. It helps us get ready, and then our sex life is better because of it. Is that really the truth? It could be. But the other question is, what else might it be doing that you're not thinking about? Are there any dangers in it? Are there any consequences that will be there, but by the time you realize they're there, it's too late and you don't know how to undo it? Those are some of the things we want to think about. So as we dig into this idea of pornography a little deeper, I first want to give you just a general principle I have when it comes to marriage. So when I think about my marriage, my goal first is what are the things that protect and strengthen my relationship. I'm going to evaluate everything that I do as to whether it protects and strengthens my relationship or is engaging in an activity, thinking about things, doing certain things, having certain attitudes, going to weaken and hurt my relationship. There may be lots of things that are generally or maybe even morally okay that may not be best for me because they don't strengthen or protect my relationship. So for me, that's first the foundation. Now, if you're watching this video and you're a couple who is either viewing porn or thinking about viewing porn together, what I can't say here is that it doesn't arouse you, that it doesn't help you get to a place where you want to have sex with each other, where you feel like it enhances your relationship. Some of that may be true. My question is, what else might be going on that you're missing? And that's what I want to cover in this video. So let me give you 4 things to consider if you're currently viewing porn together as a couple, or if you're considering it before you start viewing it. Here's 4 things to consider. First thing is that watching porn together actually focuses your attention outside of the relationship. So you picture the two of you laying there with the TV on, or your computer, whatever else you're using, and you're watching porn. Your sexual arousal is being directed not to one another, but to some couple outside of yourself. You are becoming sexually aroused and attached to some images outside of you and your spouse. So listen, I know what you're going to say. Yeah, but then we have sex together. So I get it that you're completing the sexual act with one another, but first you're attaching your arousal and your attention sexually to something outside of the marriage, which can leave either one of you, maybe both of you, feeling like you are just a convenient option for your spouse to complete their orgasm rather than a place where you guys are trying to connect intimately and have a great sexual relationship. So the first thing it can do is porn focuses your attention outside the relationship. The second thing it does is porn makes real sex less interesting, right? So many couples are getting used to their sexual relationship with each other and like, it kind of feels the same. So they go, you know what? Why don't we go watch something else to spice it up or stimulate it a little bit? The problem with doing that is you're going to end up getting to a place that you don't want to be. So here's how it works. Science has continued to show us that the brain creates maps based on what we view. And when the brain creates a map, it then desires to have that map activated or stimulated. So when you're watching porn, other times throughout the day, your brain map wants to be stimulated, so you're going to be replaying those images. You're going to be replaying them while you're at work. You're going to be replaying them while you're on your commute. You're going to be replaying those images while you're having sex with your spouse because the brain wants that stuff replayed. And here's the trouble. Novelty, something new, actually releases more dopamine in the brain than something you're used to. That's why if you are watching porn, I promise you, I don't even need to ask. I know I'll put $100,000 on the bet right now that you will not pick one video and watch that same porn video for the next 5 years because it will get boring. Your brain will want something new. So what happens is you get used to this novelty. And now what happens is you can't get aroused with regular sex with your spouse because you always need something new going on. And then you wonder why you're at a place where you're like, well, it's just boring with us and we need to add something to it. It's because you've been continually letting your brain know that it wants new images and new images and new images by creating that brain map. So watching porn together will make regular, real sex with your spouse a lot less interesting. Number 3, porn normalizes unhealthy sex. Yeah, watching porn actually normalizes sex that is not healthy in the relationship. Most porn scenes depict an inequality between the sexes. One study showed that 88% of porn scenes display physical aggression, and a little over half of them also display verbal aggression. If you think about what's crazy about this is that the porn scenes also seem to display that the women are enjoying this disparity of sexes. So now you're watching these images and now you're coming into your relationship, which should be a mutually satisfying, mutually submitted relationship, and you've got this inequality from the stuff you're watching, and you actually think that your wife, men, will enjoy your physical and verbal aggression towards them, demeaning them with speech and the things that you do because it's been normalized through porn. Now, the problem with all of this is most of the couples that I know that I talk to and counsel already have a hard time discussing this area of sex. So when you throw in images and a mindset and illustrations that depict the inequality of it, how much more are they going to have a problem trying to figure out this whole concept that the world struggles with right now of healthy sexual consent in a relationship, because porn is demonstrating unhealthy sex, which is going to negatively impact your relationship. And the fourth thing to consider is that porn together usually leads to porn alone. Yeah. No, what a surprise, right? No. We're just going to watch it together. We've already discussed this. We've already made an agreement. We're not going to watch it on our own. We're just going to watch it together. Sure you are. So you're going to stimulate your mind. You're going to create these maps in your brain that love the activation they get from watching erotic images online. And then you're never going to do it when your spouse is not around. You just never. It's only going to be together. Listen. Come on, man, that's not realistic. Most of the time, porn together also leads to porn alone. Most of the time, porn together is because there was already porn alone by at least one of you. But when you start watching porn alone, guess what you're also going to do? You're going to satisfy yourself sexually alone, which then means you no longer have the same desire to go towards your spouse in order to have those sexual desires met. So now you're not as aroused by your spouse. And guess what? Now you're going to need to watch porn together. So the danger is you're going to start watching it alone. It's going to rob your marriage of the sexual intimacy you should be having together, because guess what? It's a lot harder to reconcile the relationship, to repair the relationship, to forgive, to do the things to improve the relationship so that we're actually at a place where we both want to have sex with each other. And oftentimes the path of least resistance is let me watch it alone, let me take care of myself alone, and then I don't have to deal with my spouse in this area. So I promise you, if it's not already happening, porn together will almost always lead to porn alone. So there's just 4 things to think about if you're considering or already watching porn together as a couple. In my mind, the benefit The only benefit you may be able to come up with is that it arouses us, because that's what erotic images do, which kind of gets us ready for sex. The only benefit is far outweighed by a number of negatives, and I've only just covered a few in this video because we're trying to keep it short. There are many more consequences to watching porn together as a couple, but I think it is not going to help your relationship. In the long run, it's only going to hurt your relationship. And for me, if the goal is to guard and protect and strengthen my relationship, watching porn together with my spouse is not a way to get there. I need to figure out a different way to enhance or strengthen the sexual relationship. Love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's have a little discussion about this. And if we can do anything else to help you in your relationship, check out some of the links in the description area below. And until next time, I'll see you right back here on Relation Shots.